In this video, I'm going to share how you can become stronger physically. I'm really interested in the mental aspect as well, how to get stronger mentally, how to get stronger spiritually. And I make videos about that as well. But in this video, I'm really going to just focus on, how to really build a strong body. And the thing is, you gotta find out what works for you. This is just a fact that everybody has a different body. So what works for one guy does not have to work for the other guy. And this is something I discovered myself because, there's so many people, especially on the internet, sharing information saying, this is what you have to follow, otherwise you will not gain strength, or this is what you have to do, otherwise you will not lose body fat. And the thing is, it's nonsense. Of course, there's like um, basic information available, such as calories in, calories out. That is how you lose weight, and you got to do strength training. You got to hit a certain amount of reps if you want to train for hypertrophy. You got to hit a certain amount of reps if you want to really just focus on only strength gains. But on the other hand, I've seen so many times that one guy might become very bulky and muscled by doing only 2 sets, and each set he will do something like 30 reps, and that somehow makes that guy really very bulky. And then you have people who only do like 5 or 6 repetitions and they become bulky from doing that. So obviously everybody has a different build, a different body, and that really just means that you got to find out what works for you because your body is unique. So again, just because Ronnie Coleman, for example, trains a certain way and that works for him, doesn't mean that if you train exactly the way he does, if you take the exact same things he took, and if you eat the exact same way he was eating in his prime when he was 8 times Mr. Olympia or whatever, that doesn't mean that you'll look just like him. In fact, it can even mean that you end up becoming overtrained and that you'll lose all your gains and so on. So, of course, there are like role models when it comes to bodybuilding, like Ronnie Coleman, but that doesn't mean that if we do what they are doing, that will end up being huge as well. No. So, the first thing I just really want to make clear is please research, experience, try things out, experiment, and find out what works for you. So that's really the number one basic when it comes to becoming strong, finding out what makes you strong. And of course, it's good to first begin with the basics. So start deadlifting, start bench pressing, okay, start squatting. You can do many different variations. Like maybe front squat is what you're best at, and if you really improve the front squat, your back squat will also improve. Maybe stiff-legged deadlift works best for you. You gain strength very quickly in that exercise, and that will eventually help you build a very high normal deadlift, right? So that is what you got to do. You got to just start and write down all your progress, write down all your personal records and which exercise you have been doing, and then eventually come to a conclusion. So for me, it was like, I discovered that my squat was stuck for a very long time. I was stuck, I think, for a very long time, my maximum squat for repetitions was like 160 kilograms times 5. Now I'm at 210 kilograms times 7, right? And that only happened like in the last 1 or 2 years. So what happened? Well, I figured out what actually helps me improve my squat tremendously. And for me, that was just completely stopping with doing normal regular back squats and just switching to doing some other variation of the squats, which is the safety squat. So I switched to doing safety squat, and that way I gained like 50 kilograms or more on my back squat. right? And then I could just, return after a certain amount of weeks. I would just return to doing back squats, and then see how much strength I gained on that exercise as well. All simply by doing safety squat. Uh, Safety squat. That's all I did for 8 weeks, and it's really helped a lot. Of course, after that, it's not like you can do that again and again, gain 50 kilograms, but it just means that that was something that really helped me improve my back squat. Now I'll have to find another way to improve it even more, which means either going back to doing safety squats, but you know, the thing is, I'm kind of stuck now on safety squat because I feel like I reached my potential there. But I might have to find a new variation that will eventually also increase my back squat. And that's what works for me. I'm not saying that will work for you, right? So that is how we become stronger. We just find out what forces our body to adapt, to grow. That's why you also got to switch things up, because eventually your body gets so used to doing these exercise you've been doing that it just doesn't really grow or stronger or bigger anymore from that. So it's good to switch things up. What I usually do, I just switch to a new exercise. I do that for a couple of weeks until I gained strength. Then I go back to the exercise that I was doing prior to that. So I usually do stick to the basics. I do stick to squat, deadlift, bench press. Um, but I always just switch things up, then go back to that. And that's what worked for me. And also when it comes to building muscle, crazy thing is that I discovered that doing hex bar deadlift an insane amount of reps. I think it's like 30 repetitions. I did 145 kilos for like 27 reps, and then I would rest for 5 seconds and do those 3 final reps. So I would have a total of 30 reps, and that made my traps grow like crazy. Right now, they're not as big as they were some weeks ago when I was doing 30 reps every week with the hex bar deadlift. But once I start doing that again, my traps just become so big. So again, that's something that works for me, right? That's something I discovered. Might also work for you, but could very well be that your traps grow from an entirely different exercise and from an entirely different rep range. So it's just really interesting to, take on this journey and just really focus on yourself, on doing exercises, and just really figuring out for yourself which exercises you benefit from the most, which rep range you benefit from the most, which kind of foods you benefit from the most, maybe even which steroids you benefit from the most. Like, I don't really recommend steroids, but I myself am on TRT. So I guess you could say I'm not natural, but I didn't really start gaining strength again until I started TRT, which was after I hit 30, and I don't regret starting TRT because I really had low testosterone levels, and I was very depressed, very, very depressed, had low libido. I was not happy. And then after I started TRT, I started gaining strength again. I started feeling good again. I had high libido again, and so on. So it's like obviously worth it for me, but it might not be worth it for you if your testosterone levels are normal. So, but I think after 30, a lot of people experience that their natural testosterone levels go down, and then after 30 you can really benefit from it. So do your homework, find out if you might benefit from something like that, but only do it if you need it. I personally really need it. And then some people might ask, okay, so do you also do steroid cycles? Then my answer is, if I'm really interested in improving, like I'm stuck, I'll just up the TRT dosage just a little bit, not much, to see results again. And that's all I personally need. And I would never ever do cycles or take a lot of steroids, like very high dosages. That's not for me, because I would definitely fuck up my health. I have a very sensitive body, and I just can't take high amounts of steroids without really experiencing a lot of side effects. I've tried it when I was young, and it's not for me. So I'm never going to do that again. So me, I'm proud of my achievements in the gym because I know that I achieved them without, doing heavy cycles, without doing high dosages, just TRT or a little bit of extra sometimes, and that's it. And that's what really works for me. That's what keeps me healthy and what allows me to grow stronger. And as far as diet is concerned, I discovered that for me, there's no point whatsoever in dieting. None, zero. I know all about bulking and cutting, okay, I know. But for me, it's like, what is the point? Because if I cut, okay, I lose body fat, yes. I eat little calories, okay. So I'm starving myself, right? I lose, let's say, 10 kilograms, okay. I lose a little bit of body fat. Then I go back to my normal diet because I can't keep dieting forever. I also don't want to. I gained 10 kilograms back, and I swear to God, in 1 week. In 1 week, I'll just return back to normal. So what is the point? I can starve myself, and then I'll just look exactly the same within a week when I start eating normal again. But that's me. I can't speak for everybody. But that's why I believe in just following a diet that works for you, that doesn't make you too skinny, that doesn't make you too fat. And for me, that's just eating 4 meals. I eat healthy. I always make sure I get my fruits, my veggies, my carbs, my proteins, my healthy fats, and so on. Sometimes I'll have a cheat meal and that's it. And even while only eating 4 meals per day, I still usually weigh around 120 kilograms, sometimes a bit less, but that's it. If I really want to become lean, which is very hard for me to do, I think I'm an endomorph or something, but if I really want to become lean, then I would just find something that I can take, a supplement that helps me become lean and that I can keep taking without sacrificing my health. Those supplements do exist. There are even SARMs out there. I might be willing to try that. I haven't yet, but that's how I would go about it. It's all about doing something that you can keep doing consistently, and I most certainly would not feel comfortable constantly cutting, bulking, and so on. The yo-yo effect can also occur if you do that. You'll just become fatter, fatter, fatter because you know that's what happens when you diet. So that's my advice. Find a diet that works for you, that helps you maintain and gain. And yeah, it's definitely possible to just eat normal and continue to bulk and to gain muscle because I don't think you really need that much. Your body doesn't need that much to gain muscle. It just needs stimuli. Like it just needs to be challenged. So sometimes you should just change your workout schedule. Maybe also change the food up a little bit, and you'll see that the body responds to that very quickly. It's just a matter of telling your body to adapt. And if it's always doing the same exercise, it will not continue to adapt forever. So sometimes you really just got to switch to a different exercise, and the body will be forced to change, to adapt. Thank you for watching.